Hey guys, so a lot of you have been asking me for this Elestra guide. You've been like, some of you have noticed that I actually changed my build, and I have like chilling mist. I added chilling mist. So yeah, I'm gonna go through like why I changed certain parts of my build, and I modified certain things. It's gonna be different from the builds I suggested in the written guide, because I did some testing and stuff like that. So yeah, I actually came up with a new build. Yeah, I know this is kind of delayed. I was supposed to put this up last week or so, but I was really busy with real life stuff and all that. So yeah, finally got around to doing it this week. So yeah, alright. So the Sorceress branch, if you take a look, glacial spikes at 17. So a lot of you have a lot of questions, like question marks. So why is it 17? Isn't it supposed to be good for ice stacking? Yes, for me it is. But the 3% for me personally isn't a lot. So to me, I didn't add it. Yeah. And also because I don't have like a skill ring or a weapon. There's skill weapons in cash shop. So yeah, glacial spike, I didn't really feel a need to like really add it. And hammer strikes at 1 because yeah, I kind of just use it to knock down mobs and poison pool them, so I don't have to deal with so many of them at the same time. Alright, so for mental mastery, a lot of you have a lot of questions. Why is it at level 1? So there is a good reason why it's at level 1, because you are a sorceress. Being an intellect class, you have an incredible amount of intellect, which actually contributes to your MP, your mana. So if you take a look at level 1 mental mastery, I actually have 231k MP, which is actually quite a lot. So I don't think you actually need so much. So level 1 is more than sufficient. Unless you're going for PvP, then you probably need it. Alright, so I'm going to start the fire branch in the elemental lord tree. The reason why I dropped fireball down to level 1 is because I realized in Nest I don't actually use it a lot because of the because it immobilizes for 3 seconds and all that, and 16 SP investment is crazy amount, so I don't really think it's worth it. Yeah, so Inferno, Firewall, it's kind of standard stuff, prerequisite. Fire Shield as well. Flame Road at level 10. I removed my skill accessory, so that's why it's at 10. If you want, you can add like 1 more, but Flame Road is really good damage, so yeah, definitely if you want to add Flame Road, then yeah, not if you want to, you should add Flame Road. Flame Road is your main DPS skill, so yeah. Firebird is maxed because yeah, it's short casting, insane damage. Like mine can do about like 1.5 mil in a party per bird, so it's total up to 4.5, maybe sometimes 6 mil, depends. Ignites at level 11, crazy skill to use, high damage. And if you noticed, I didn't actually add what's that skill? Fire Vortex. I did add Fire Vortex because I realized the only time I actually use it is in solo, but now I don't solo a lot, so yeah, I don't really need it much. Flame Spark, Frostwind at level 1 because yeah, it's just meant to be like a filler skill. Yeah, and for debuffing for Frostwind. Freezing Sword, the reasons why it's at level 6 because same thing as Fireball, the damage, the SP investment to damage ratio is really terrible. So I just put it at level 6 for the EX, so you can just kind of just use it, as a filler skill. So the big question now is Freezing Field level 12 and Frozen Spikes level 11. Frozen Spikes level 11 is not maxed at 13 because I don't have enough SP, but if I could, I would. But let me explain to you why it's Freezing Fields at 12. Frozen Spikes at 11 because it does insane damage. Like in the nest, in the raid nest, I can hit about 1.3 to 1.5 mil, sometimes 1.6 mil per hit, and yeah, not including the damage reduction after that, but per hit it's about 1.6 sometimes. Yeah, Freezing Field, if that's assuming debuff properly, so Freezing Field has to come before Frozen Spikes or something that gives a good debuff, right? So preferably it will be Freezing Field. The reason why it's at 12 is because if you read the mechanics in my written guide, I'll link it below. If you actually put it at level 11, Frozen Spikes, after Freezing Field, if you cast Frozen Spikes, then Frozen Spikes is going to cancel the debuffs from Freezing Field. And if you don't understand why, you should read the written guide below in the description. Right, so yeah, that's the reason why it's at level 12, because Freezing Field is supposed to be your main debuffing skill, so you need it. Right, so Freezing Shield's at level 1 simply because I don't really see a need for like 9% more damage reduction. If you really need the damage reduction, then just get it from the plates. Right, so actually I have a slot for swapping plates and all that. Chilling Mist is at level 6. The reason why I didn't max it is because the SP investment is actually it's more like I don't have enough SP. If I could, I would try to max it, but personally level 6 is sufficient. The reason why I use this over Fireball is because I feel that Chilling Mist, if you really know how to debuff properly, can actually do a lot more damage than Fireball at level 16 Fireball. So it really boils down to really whether or not you know how to use this skill, which is actually a pretty good skill, right? So yeah, I will be showing you guys in maybe like the next video or something how exactly you should debuff before using Chilling Mist, because in the party this skill can actually do about 2.8 mil to maybe sometimes 4 mil plus, about there. It's more than Fireball basically, so yeah, it's actually quite a lot of damage if you know how to use it properly. Alright, so Glacial Wave, the reason why it's at level 5, a lot of you have a lot of questions, you know, the extra 2 seconds of debuff time, is it really, don't you need it? No, since you're in Elestra, you're supposed to have ice stacking and all that. Alright, so for Glacial Wave, the reason why it's at level 5 is because, first of all, SP constraints. I laid out all the other stuff and then I found that, oh no, I don't have enough SP, so I was thinking, okay, where can I get it from? Right, so I just took it from Glacial Wave because if you actually think about it, 30% of about, I think it's 5.5 seconds now. Yeah, so if it's 30% of that, then actually if you debuff properly, it should bring it back up to about 6.5, maybe close to 7 seconds, about there. So actually you can kind of compensate for the extra 2 seconds by debuffing properly. So really, yeah, and you don't really need the extra 2 seconds that much if you know how to debuff properly and you know how to like lay out all your ice skills properly. So yeah, if you really know how to use your Elestra properly, then I don't see too much of need for the extra 2 seconds. But if you're like really like not confident of, you know, having like you don't feel comfortable with level 5 Glacial Wave and all that, then yeah, by all means you can go ahead and add it. Maybe you can take out from Phoenix Storm, drop it to level 6 and then add 3 more SP to Glacial Wave. That will work fine as well. So yeah, so Blizzard is actually you need it, and it's probably one of your longest debuff duration ice stacking debuff duration skill. It's 10 seconds, and if you debuff, it's about 13 seconds, if not including like intellect suffix and all that. So it's really good, and if you actually know how to debuff properly before it, it can actually do a lot of damage. Like mine does about 1.5 mil per hit if I debuff it properly for plate and all that. So yeah, and 1.5 mil per hit basically means about 15 to 17 mil in total. Yeah, so it's pretty high damage if you know how to debuff properly. So I'll be doing another video later on in the week, maybe next week, I'm not too sure, on how to like manage your debuffs, how to sustain ice stacking and all that. And I hope it really helps, because some of you have been asking a lot of questions, you know, like how do you balance dealing damage and at the same time being able to debuff, maintaining ice stacking and all that. And it's a really big question, because a lot of you a lot of, no, not a lot of you, a lot of Elestras alike all have this problem of like, you know, so how do I deal damage and how do I like maintain ice stacking. So I'll be showing you guys how to do that in like subsequent videos, how to maintain it, how to use your debuffs properly, because a lot of people don't really understand how to manage them, and they just like randomly spam all the ice skills, and or they want to deal a lot of damage and then they spam all the fire skills, which is just completely wrong. So I'll be teaching you guys more or less how to manage it. Oh yeah, and for Ignite, I didn't get to talk too much about it. Basically, Ignite is a pretty good skill, but you really must know how to use it. It's quite situational. Usually I use it more for mobs because of the 360 AoE and stuff like that, but it's basically a hard-hitting skill, and usually I use it after Flame Spark. So yeah, because Flame Spark, the burn damage isn't a lot, so I just use Ignite to cancel it. Alright, so Ice Barrier, or Eggshell, so some of you call it Eggshell. So the Eggshell is pretty good. There's a lot of debate like saying, oh, you know, is that extra like 1 SP really essential to make it level 2, 135% of your magic attack and all that. Well, if you think about it, especially if you're going for full magic attack build, yeah, for example, if you have like 25k magic attack, correct, and you have about like yeah, and you have level 2 Eggshell, yeah, if you're level 2 Eggshell, and it's gonna help you tank about let me think. It's about 33k or so, about there, more or less there, about 33k damage, which you know is actually quite a lot. Especially if you're going to nest in those small little hits, it's just gonna absorb everything, which is crazy. It's just good because it extends your life by like 33k HP more. Yeah, so it's really good. The extra 15%. It really depends on your magic attack. If your magic attack is really low, then of course you can just bring it back down to level 1, since it's not going to make a lot of difference. Yeah, so yep. So for Ice Spear, yeah, it's level 4, for obvious reasons. It's a crazy ice stacking skill that's like, it really contributes to a lot of burst. If you want, you can actually add a plate to it, because if you debuff properly, it actually adds a lot. And yeah, the EX skills are all maxed and all. So yeah, I hope this video helps you guys. This isn't like some perfect build or anything. I'm not saying like I have the best build, but I just hope it really helps you guys to understand Elestras better, like how you can play around your build and do a bit more testing and all that. Right, so there are some videos that are going to be coming up, like I mentioned. I'll be continuing Against the Odds series, and I will be doing a bit more on ice stacking, more of like a guide kind of thing. Yeah, so remember to subscribe if you like the videos, and I will see you next time.